date is September 3rd, 1260. In the valley of Ain Jalut, two armies face off. One has never tasted defeat, the other expects to die. For 6 decades, the Mongol war machine has crushed everything in its path. Entire cities erased, millions slaughtered, pyramids of skulls left behind. From the plains of China to the rivers of Europe, no one has ever stopped them, until today. Because today, everything changes. The Mongols are led by Qutuz, a seasoned general and devout Christian who has served the Great Khan faithfully. His army just captured Damascus and Aleppo, rolling through the Middle East like an unstoppable tide. They're riding high on victory, convinced nothing can stand in their way. Opposing them are the Mamluks of Egypt, not ordinary troops, but elite slave soldiers, men stolen as boys and forged into warriors. Their commander is Qutuz, once an obscure officer in Cairo. Now he's Sultan of Egypt, and about to make the most important decision of his life. The Mongols send him a message: surrender or suffer the fate of Baghdad. What happened to Baghdad was annihilation. 1 million people dead in a week. Blood flooded the streets. But Qutuz doesn't flinch. He executes the Mongol envoys and mounts their heads on the gates of Cairo. There will be no surrender, only war. And the Mongols have never lost one. In 1260, their empire is the largest in history, stretching from Korea to Poland, covering 13 million square miles, 1/5 of Earth's land. Their power lies not only in brutality, but in speed. Their horses cover 50 miles a day. Their archers shoot accurately at full gallop, hitting coin-sized targets from 100 yards. But their most potent weapon is terror. Cities usually don't resist. Mongols offer a brutal choice: surrender and live as slaves, or resist and be obliterated. Most choose life. In 1258, they took Baghdad, center of the Islamic world, home to the House of Wisdom, where ancient knowledge was preserved, where algebra was born, and hospitals first emerged. The Mongols destroyed it all. Books were dumped into rivers until the waters ran black with ink. The massacre was so complete, eyewitnesses claimed you could walk the city from end to end without stepping on earth. Only corpses. That's what awaits Cairo if Qutuz fails. But the Mamluks aren't typical opponents. They have a secret weapon even the Mongols fear. Every Mamluk was once a slave boy, often from Turkic or Central Asian lands, bought in markets like livestock, torn from family, and raised for one purpose: war. They trained in every weapon: sword, spear, bow, mace. They studied tactics, languages, religion. Above all, they were taught loyalty, not to tribe or blood, but to each other and to Islam. By the time they were freed, they weren't boys anymore. They were warriors, brothers. Among them was Baibars, Qutuz's most brilliant general. And he has a plan: bold, risky, untested. If it fails, the Islamic world falls. The Mongols are advancing south through Palestine with 20,000 elite cavalry, confident as always, fast as ever. They strike before opponents can react. But Baibars has been watching, studying. He's learned their rhythm. The Mongols always send a vanguard to scout, then follow with their main force. It works every time, because their enemies panic. But not this time. This time, the Mamluks will turn that strategy back on them. Qutuz approves, but makes one crucial decision. He won't stay in Cairo. He will ride to battle himself. His advisors think he's mad. Sultans command from safety. But Qutuz knows his men must see him fight. They must believe he'll die with them if necessary, because what they're attempting has never worked. September 3rd, 1260, Ain Jalut. Dawn breaks. The desert is cold. Mongol scouts arrive first, just as Baibars predicted. About 1,000 mounted archers charging fast. They spot a small Mamluk detachment, 500 riders. Easy prey. The Mongols attack. Arrows fill the sky. Hooves shake the earth. The Mamluks turn and flee. Perfect, just like always. Then the main Mongol force enters the valley. This script has played out many times. Scouts engage, enemies retreat, then the full army finishes the job. But something is off. The Mamluks aren't fleeing in fear. They're falling back in formation, shooting as they go, luring the Mongols in. Qutuz arrives with his army just as his scouts vanish into a narrow pass. He hears battle ahead but can't see it. The canyon is too tight. The wall's too steep. He should pause. He should send more scouts. But Mongol generals don't wait. They charge. It's worked for 60 years. Why stop now? The Mongol force floods into the valley. 20,000 of the world's deadliest warriors. They expect a quick kill, more gold, another victory. Then they hear the horns. Not one, dozens, hundreds. From the hills, from behind, from ahead. And then the trap is sprung. Mamluk warriors rise from hidden trenches, from behind rocks, from the hillsides. Tens of thousands, encircling them.
For the first time in 60 years, a Mongol army is ambushed. But they don't panic. They don't yield. They regroup and fight back. Kitbuka orders a breakout to the south, toward open desert. If they can reach it, they can regain the upper hand with speed and archery. The Mongols charge. Their arrows fly true. Their horses crash into Mamluk lines. It seems for a moment they might escape. Then Qutuz does the unthinkable. He removes his helmet, throws it down, and roars, "O Islam!" His soldiers see their sultan fighting in the dirt beside them, bleeding and fearless. That moment breaks something, or awakens something. The Mamluks charge with renewed fury. These aren't peasants or conscript. These are hardened warriors, trained for this single moment. The tide turns. The Mongols are slaughtered. For the first time, the killing goes the other way. Kitbuka fights with fury, cutting down enemies by the dozen. But he is overwhelmed. His final breath is defiant. When the sun sets, nearly every Mongol is dead. A few hundred escape. The rest feed the vultures. But this is more than a military victory. It's a psychological one. For 6 decades, the Mongols were invincible, divinely favored, blessed by fate. That illusion dies in this valley. Word spreads quickly. Cairo, Damascus, Baghdad, people who lived in dread now dare to hope. The Mongols can be defeated. The tide can be turned. Far away in Mongolia, the great Khan monk receives the news months later. For the first time, a Mongol army has been completely destroyed. Expansion halt. Resources meant for conquering Africa and Europe are rerouted. The western frontier is abandoned. The Mamluks seize the opportunity. Over the coming years, they reclaim every city the Mongols had taken. Qutuz is assassinated by his own men. Betrayal comes even in victory. But Baibars becomes sultan and continues the fight, against Mongols and Crusaders alike. By 1300, the Mongol Empire begins to fracture. No longer unified, its parts war with each other. Meanwhile, the Mamluks rule Egypt and Syria for the next 250 years. They become patrons of science, art, and architecture. Cairo becomes a jewel of the Islamic world. Knowledge preserved in their libraries helps spark the European Renaissance centuries later. None of this would have happened if Qutuz had stayed behind. If he had played it safe. If he had ruled like others. Ain Jalut didn't just save Egypt. It saved the belief that no empire, no matter how powerful, is invincible. All it takes is courage and a leader willing to fight. The Mongols never forgot. In later battles, when faced with similar tactics, they hesitated. The era of unstoppable conquest was over. Today, Ain Jalut is a quiet valley in the West Bank. No signs, no monuments. Most who pass through have no idea that, on this very ground, a group of former slaves shattered an empire. And proved that even the mightiest can fall.